Hey friends, it's Theresa here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a layout for you for the Clique Kits Creative Team, and I'm working with the Spring Blooms collection from 3/4 Designs. This is a new brand that I'm not familiar with yet, but I'm excited to dive in. These are the gorgeous patterned papers in this collection, and I've already cut into a couple of them, so you won't be able to see them all quite yet, but I just wanted to show you how dimensional they are and how colorful, and that's sort of what drew me to this kit. This is a collection of chipboard pieces that are included with the kit. And then these are some of the cut apart sheets. There are also some floral cut aparts that I fussy cut already. You can see those over on the left hand side. And these are some of the ones that I haven't cut into yet. Just a little quick overview of some of the beautiful things in this collection. And I had kind of pulled this sheet aside. I thought I might use it as well on my layout. I'm not sure yet. And there was also this beautiful tag booklet. And I have to say that these would make a beautiful layout just by themselves. Look how pretty they are. So I may use those. I might not. I'm not sure. I pulled a few just to have on hand and see where the layout takes me. So I'm going to do a 6x8 layout in my Life Crafted album. I have these two photos. They're cropped to about 3x5. And then I took two of the pattern papers in the collection and trimmed those down already. They measure 7 inches wide and 8 1/4 inches high. I'm also going to punch those real quick so that I know where those holes are going to go. So the kit had this gorgeous set of chipboard pieces, and I was just kind of considering how I wanted to use it. And you absolutely could use it as it is intact, or you could cut it apart and use them that way. But I also thought it might be fun to trace around them to add a little bit something else to the background. And so what I'm doing here is sort of testing out some of my brown and black Faber-Castell Pitt pens. And I ended up using the dark sepia 175, in case you're curious. And I'm going to trace around some of the leaves and the flowers here in this collection. And I went ahead and made the executive decision about putting my photos over on the lower left-hand side of the layout. And that lets me know where it makes most sense to draw these leaves and flowers. And the way that I'm approaching this, I've talked about this before, is using something on the background paper or something that you add as a home base for your embellishments. And that's why I chose these particular pattern papers. The red circles seemed like a great home base for photos, for embellishments, for my title, and also, of course, for these beautiful chipboard pieces. And of course, you could cut them apart and use them that way, but we're stretching supplies here, and that's something that I really like to do. I also like to reimagine supplies and think about other ways besides just the predictable ways of using them. And so this sort of helps bring the background in to tie in with the rest of the layout. I mentioned that I had fussy cut those floral pieces, so there's obviously going to be some floral embellishments, and these will just accentuate that a little bit. I'm using brown. I decided, or the sepia color, I decided that black was a little bit too gray. The tones and the undertones from these pattern papers kind of speak more brown to me, sort of on the warm side, not on the cool side. And so that's cool. You'll notice how, of course, all these chipboard pieces are connected. And so I'm tracing around the connector pieces and then going back and freehanding the little gaps back into make it a whole piece. There's a lot more that you could do with this as well. I thought about it might be fun to color these in a little bit more, add more lines and texture, or to do, if you're a pen and ink kind of person, to do some dots and add some shades and shadows that way. But I've just kind of left them primitive and just bold lines. It kind of lets you, one, they're mostly going to be covered by embellishments, right? Just the edges are going to show. But if you wanted to leave a lot of your traced flowers showing, then you absolutely could have fun just adding some more color to those. And but again, I'm covering these up, so I'm not going to spend that kind of time on it today. Also, this is probably a little beyond my comfort level of being an artist or being creative, and that's okay too. That's totally okay. You could watercolor inside those too. That would be beautiful. Just some different ideas that helping you to think about. I hope that if you have this kit, that it will inspire you. And if you don't have the kit, then you'll have to be sure to check it out. I will, of course, have links down below for you, and you'll be able to grab this for yourself. And so with the photos being on the left-hand side, I'm going to use the right hand for mostly for the title, for a little bit of journaling that I just wanted to add to make this photo sort of a reminder. It's a reminder of where I'm at in my personal growth. And so the hello word spoke to me in terms of this is kind of a new phase in life for me, and I'm I'm just learning how to embrace it. And so you notice how I did end up cutting the chipboard pieces apart and used a couple of those, just adding a little bit more texture. I left them just as plain chipboard pieces. And again, repeating another shade of brown and keeping these sort of warm but really bright color palette, keeping that going here. I felt like the embellishments around the photos are really pretty. I've used some of the butterflies and those fussy cut florals here. But I felt like the frame with the title hello in it, it needed a little something more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this little bird here, fussy cut him, and I debated whether or not to tuck him under, but in the end I left him kind of layered on top, just because it made him a little bit more dimensional. So I think that was an excellent choice. Now, I created my own journaling spot here. This was actually kind of a fun little idea. There was what I would call a 3x4 card in that cut apart sheet. And I went ahead and cut apart the lines from that journal card and created my own little label here. And I'm just going to write a few words. What I've realized lately, I've been playing with my hair and sort of figuring out like what I want to do with my hair next. It hadn't really been making me happy lately, and I realized that there was kind of more to it than that. I realized that I'm kind of heading into my 50s. I just turned 49 in October of last year, and heading into a new phase of life. The kids are all growing up, moving out, and also closing down in my pocket. And there's just a big kind of shift going on. And the reality is that I don't really know how to be 50. And I don't know how to go into this new phase of my life just yet. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I wanted to use this layout as a reminder to myself to be super compassionate and patient with myself. And this is what I hope that you're able to take from this today as well. To be super compassionate with ourselves, wherever our journey is taking us. The truth is, we don't know how to do the next decade or the next 4 years or the next 7 years or whatever next phase that you may be looking at. And you may feel a little bit like, I do. I feel a little bit like the ugly duckling. But I also know that the phase that you get to at the end of it, regardless of where your journey takes you, is that you still get to be proud of who you are and show yourself a lot of love and a lot of patience. So one thing you can see here, I grabbed some of my faithful old Studio Calico stamps and just added a little bit of black. This is a very pure black ink, so it didn't feel cool or warm, and it tied in beautifully with the color palette from these papers. I hope you've enjoyed this process today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the Clique Kits Facebook group, and there's a lot more inspiration over there, and we hope that you will have a great crafty day. See you back here again soon. Bye-bye.